Winter is coming. So what does that mean for your mindset? What does that mean for your physical health, your mental health, and everything in between? That's what me and Dave are talking about today. There's also a little something called a winter arc that we're going to discuss, which I have no idea about, but we'll stumble our way through it. So without more rambling, let's go get into it. What's going on, beautiful people? This is the Perspective Chasers podcast. I am John, that is Dave, and today we're talking about all things winter. But before we get into that, I've got a little surprise that Dave doesn't know about. So if he checks behind his right butt cheek, he's going to find himself a little present. Behind the cushion.
Yo! End the stream, brother. I'm gonna go get fat. I'm gonna eat these on the pot. I don't give a shit.
Nostalgia.
Yeah, baby. Mama.
I see him the other day and I was just like, memory lane.
Oh,
I really hope I can edit out the rustling.
they're mushrooms. Well, not the trippy kind, the sweet kind. But yeah, nostalgia. Oh. Time for you to leave this program down for 5 minutes.
Yeah, that I shouldn't have probably led with that.
No. You want mushroom?
No, I'm good, cheers.
You don't want to reach across?
No, your little tacky mushroom's fine over there.
Oh, maybe it's a big shiitake. Ooh, that tastes good.
But I see him the other day and I was just like, oh, they're still in existence. But yeah, so now to try to get back on track. Winter is indeed coming. And if you live in the UK like us, you'll feel
after
it.
seeing those, I'm coming. So you have to edit that out.
Oh, I didn't realise I'd derail this much.
Or leave it in.
That gets me in trouble.
Got me a goddaughters, bro. I told you this before.
I know. But she causes a lot of trouble. But yeah, so with winter around the corner, it is time to start looking at kind of different things to kind of keep you mentally fortified, kind of little things to enjoy, not just sweets or mushrooms or retro kind of nostalgia.
Massively. But you know, like, this whole thing kind of makes me laugh. Like I said to you about this winter arc thing, right? I haven't looked into it too much because, you know, Instagram fans annoy me.
To say the least.
They annoy me. If I see it more than like 3 or 4 times and I'm having a little scroll, you've annoyed me. Go away. Unless you're Pesto the Penguin, he can stay because that man's jacked.
Don't know who that is.
Bro, it's basically me as a penguin, bro. It's like a 9-month-old penguin, but it's jacked. By 9 months, it already weighs more than both his parents combined.
Fair.
Jocked, bro. Jocked.
A real penguin?
Yeah, jocked.
Fair enough.
Finny is a titan, bro. It's a joke. And it's a king penguin, bro. That is the king, bro. It's a chosen penguin. Anyway, I have time for penguins, but anything else I kind of get a little bit jarred about, you know what I mean? And I keep seeing this winter arc thing, and I'm just like, oh, what's this nonsense, bro? So I had a little look into it. It's basically people taking things to an extreme. So, like, between October 1st and December 31st is basically your time to get disciplined, to be you, to get better at being you, like, but some people take it to different extremes. But it annoys me because I naturally do this anyways. The days get darker. So socializing tends to get a little bit lesser than it would in the summer. Summer tends to be where, in my case anyways, nights out are more prevalent. Because the weather's better, everyone's spirits are better, the days are longer, so you're like, yeah, let's do things. Whereas winter is a bit more like, retreat. Retreat.
It's cold, miserable, and wet. Let's go.
Air shrinkage. Like, we're not going out. So winter tends to be a bit more, historically, we need more, let's refocus on training, let's focus on career or whatever we're doing, and just keep things progressing. So it annoys the hell out of me that everyone's just going, no, this is a fad. It's like, no, man, this is life. I've been doing this. Go away. But there's people who take it to extremes. Like, there's one guy I saw who, like, his first rule is that he goes and gets a buzz cut. Why is that necessary? Like, that makes no sense to me. I get my hair cut every 3 weeks or so, bro. Like, what's special about October the 1st? You have to go get a buzz cut. Like, I don't get that. And then there's some people who are saying, like, kill all relationships. That's so stupid. Like, that's nigh on suicidal, bro. Yeah, you're coming into the darkest months, and you want to shut down any glimmer of socializing during the darkest months of the year.
See, now that goes like the whole opposite way of what kind of like my mentality towards winter goes. Like straight away,
counterproductive.
When I think about winter, I'm thinking of like warm, cozy, comfort, snuggling up with like a hot chocolate and a film,
minestrone soup and some fresh bread, bro.
Anything that like feeds the soul. And
pink mushrooms, come back here. Oh, hey, you're talking in mushroom bread.
But
you have to feed me snacks every pod, you know that?
No.
Yeah, bro, I want surprises every time I sit on this chair.
Alright.
Sweet.
So anything kind of like warm and wholesome that... That's definitely what I want for winter. But not shutting people out in that sense. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm all for like cutting off like toxic friendships and toxic people and everything else like that. If you've got to the point where it's like, cool, I'm using the 1st of October as an excuse to cut out toxic people, fair enough. But if it's just like, I'm literally going to choose to isolate myself from the good and the bad and just segregate myself simply because the months changed and the days were a bit shorter.
Imagine waking up October 1st and you're like, cool, I'm going ghost on everyone because I want to work hard for 3 months.
Yeah, but that don't make me work hard. Like...
No, but all you're doing is isolating yourself and you're giving yourself a big old chance of getting some really bad mental health problems.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, like... The good thing about working hard is when you can look over and your mate's there with you. Like, it's that kind of brotherhood or sisterhood or whatever you want to refer to it as. That camaraderie is what makes it worth it. Like, if you're literally just picked up during the summer and dropped off for winter and that, you're not a friend. You're not somebody that's there. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like...
But like, yeah, it's one of those weird ones because it feels like there's good parts about it, but then people do what they casually do with everything, which is let's take it to the extreme for no reason.
Yeah,
because like it highlights on like getting more vitamin D and stuff like that, which is accurate in the winter because sunlight drops, so you naturally lose that, which is something that most people would tend to start supplementing anyways because that's just gonna make you feel better naturally anyways.
Yeah, but that's
like the whole point is like making sure you keep going because people tend to drop off from their training and stuff because again you just don't want to go and do things.
I hear that, yeah, but let me just tangent on that for 1 second, yeah, because this whole sunlight thing, yeah, like...
It's a myth in the UK, I know.
But that's the whole point about it is, like, okay, cool, you're meant to get X amount of sunlight a day. Okay, but sunlight hours change throughout the year, so you're not always going to get a full 12 hours of sun, you're not always going to get morning sun, this, that, and everything else. Like, you don't need freaking 15 hours of sun every single day in order to be a moderately healthy human. Like, all these things fluctuate all the time, but people capture onto these things and they're like, oh, there's this one thing that will make you feel good, do it to the absolute extreme all the time, and Same with cold plunge.
But that's my point, though, is that people accentuate things to an extreme for no reason. If you go back through episodes of this very podcast, you'll see there was a time where I said that if you don't feel great, go for a walk. That's what you need to do. Go and actually get exposed to the elements for a minute or two, and you're going to feel a lot better about yourself. You don't need to stay in the sun.
But everyone knows a Forrest Gump. They'll be like, okay, Jenny, walks 500 miles.
But oh, that's going to be stuck in my head. Oh, no.
Sorry.
It's my 16th birthday all over again. Jesus. But no, but even that's different though. Like in the summer when you go out for a walk and it's nice and hot and stuff, you feel like kind of uplifted and you feel a bit happier because it just feels good. But there is something about like winter breeze slapping you in the face. Oh, that will wake you up quick time. Like, and it's a very different feeling.
As well, like walking in the grass in the morning, it's crunchy. Like you can't do that in summer.
Nope.
Do you know what I mean? Like that morning dew in the mornings that's friggin'... I said dew. D-E-W. That just kind of makes that morning a bit misty and a little bit mysterious. Like, there are still a lot of things...
Sun. Like when it's just about coming up at like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and you're like,
ooh. Do you remember...
I can't see anything when I'm driving, but it's beautiful.
It was a couple of years ago now, but we was in a bloody jacuzzi in winter.
That's normally when I start using them because everyone else abandons, and I'm just like, mine.
We're literally there in
Shamu!
in the car, just steaming, like we're banging. Memorables. But that's the thing, like, but where's the arc in that of shutting people out and like embrace the good things about. There's some things that you can only do in winter that should only be done in winter. There's some things you can only do in summer that should only be you should only do in summer. Like I was literally eating strawberries this morning. I'm like, I should not be eating these at this time of year. This literally is unnatural. Like if it weren't for like indoor farming and all of that nonsense, we wouldn't have that. If it weren't for shipping and everything else, I wouldn't be able to eat those at this time of year. Mm-hmm. So what's more natural? Me trying to force myself to get X amount of hours of sun with stupid light bulbs, this and whatever other therapies, or me going, actually, where is the world at now? Can I tune into what the world is doing? And is that going to make me feel a little bit better? Okay, cool. I've got to put on an extra jumper when I go for my walk or whatever else. Or it might be a little bit soggy.
Jumper season bangs.
Exactly.
Like this is autumn is my favourite season.
No, I don't know about that, but
it's a personal thing, bro. So get off. Yeah.
No, I'm literally just saying for myself. I don't know about that,
bro. Like, you, bro.
Say it with your chest or don't say it at all.
You, bro.
Still no chest in that.
I can't move this side too well because my shoulders. Still pops.
Sorry, we don't take sick notes.
Look me in the eyes when I titty dance, fool.
I pecked up a love.
Anyways, before you start projecting against me, bro, it's my favourite season, okay? The word there is my, so you. My favourite season.
You're going to make me do a lot of editing if you keep swearing.
Keep trampling all over my favourite season and see how well it goes for you later when we have to edit this.
Mm-hmm.
I'll drop a C-bomb, I swear to God.
You've dropped enough bombs.
Anyways, jumper with a bangs. I like wearing hoodies. I like wearing hoodies to the point I don't have to sweat to death wearing them. It's great. Can put my hood up for logical reasons, not just comfort reasons.
Yeah, but
it's great weather. Then we get into winter, which is a bit rubbish.
See, the thing with winter is especially in the UK, we never get like a proper winter. It's always half-assed.
It's just cold and wet, which you don't want.
Exactly. But even still, like when you think of like a picturesque winter, you think about snow and we get sleet and slush, and even if it does snow within 2 days, it's mush and just inconvenient. And
sleet, snow, and depression.
Literally, like that kind of sums up the British winter or British weather. To be fair,
Britain all year round, mate. It's worth it for the 3 days. It's worth it for the 3 days of brilliant sunshine you get. So 3 days a year you go, ooh, big autumn weather. Get down there, mate. Everyone goes down to Brighton for 1 day.
Oh my god. The rest of the year, your soup's filling up quicker than you can freaking eat.
You know, it's that point of the year when it's sunny for the whole day and everyone wakes up and goes, okay, seaside. And everyone starts going to the seaside and they're like, alright, which one's going to be less packed? Where am I going?
Yeah, bro. Again, extremes. Everyone goes to the exact same place. And I'm like, how are you having a good time? Like, if I see everyone go right, I go left. Even if I need to go right, I'll go left, then I'll go right, and then I'll go right further up the road. Like, I'm not following everybody else and having no space or what. Oh, it does my nut in. Like, but everybody does it. Mm-hmm. And it seems like this winter arc thing is that same thing. People just storming the beach.
The thing is, though, like, this whole winter arc thing, on the whole, you don't need to be that extreme. Naturally, especially if you live in countries like the UK and stuff where you have very noticeably changes in the season with weather and stuff, you are noticeably going to refocus because it just comes with the times. This happened to me most of my adult life. I typically will go, like, I'll still do whatever I do in summer, but I typically have more nights out and I'll do more things that are enjoyable, much more socializing. As you get into September, I naturally sort of refocus because you've got 1 quarter left in the year. So it's that time of, what have I got left to do? And what have I done? So you naturally start to get more reflective because you're literally coming towards the end of the year. You're coming towards Christmas and all that kind of jazz. So you naturally get a little bit more pensive. You get more reflective because you realise that, hey, even though it's just another day, But New Year is coming. That's the time to restart and kind of see what I'm doing and keep moving. You're naturally going to do that. You don't need to be extreme. You don't need to shut everything down. You don't need to get a blood clot buzz cut for no reason. Your hair's your hair, man. You do what you normally do. You don't need to be changing stuff. Like, I just don't get that. Just keep doing what you're doing. Like, just roll with the change of the season. That's all you do. Like, it don't need to be that extreme. It's just another quarter of the year. You will refocus every time. As the seasons change, you will naturally do it. When you move from winter into spring, you will naturally go, oh man, everything's starting to feel good again. I'm going to do this. So, okay, go do it.
Do you know what though? Like, I'm trying to think about it as you talk and like put myself in the shoes of one of those people that are like, oh, winter's around the corner, I need to da 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 da. And realistically, it must be like a case of they kind of take their foot off the gas in the summer, enjoy themselves, procrastinate, blah 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 blah, enjoy life, go on holidays, whatever else than that. And then it's literally as if to say that like they forget that there's a grind. Like the grind is always there, because in summertime you can enjoy it a little bit more. There is, say you finish work at 5, 6 o'clock during summer, you've still got 3 hours, 4 hours sometimes of daylight left. If you finish work at 5, 6 o'clock in the middle of December or January, you're minus 2 hours of sunlight. Sun's gone down at 4 o'clock and that's it. Mm-hmm. You've gone to work and it was dark, and you've come home and it was dark. Mm-hmm. That's your life. Like, look at the times when we worked security. That was literally our life for the whole of winter for years.
Yeah, you go days without seeing any daylight.
Literally.
Like, you would sleep during the day.
But you still get stuff done. Because that mental grind is always present in your head. Because we don't ever fully take, even if we're relaxing, procrastinating on holiday or whatever else, we never fully take our foot off the gas. Whereas with some of these people, it seems like they fully take their foot off the gas in the summer and they're like, cool, I'm just going to enjoy life. Like, look at some of the people that literally travel all summer. They'll come back to the UK for the winter, get a job, and then they'll work all through winter, and then they'll go again travelling again next year. And it's not to say that's not a good way of life. That's great for some people.
Banging way of life.
Like, literally, when I said it, I'm like, oh, that's a sick idea. But what effect does it have on the mind? Do you know what I mean? Like, not being able to kind of switch off or kind of not understanding that you're always going to be working for something. Again, some people might be different. But at least for us, we've always had our foot on that gas to some extent.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I can summarise this. I think it's a load of bollocks, quite frankly. The fact that this winter arc thing seems to be like, oh, from October 1st to December 31st, we're going to grind really hard. Nonsense. If you want to get bigger in the gym, do it all year round. If you want to get fitter, do it all year round. If you want to work harder, do it all year round. If you want to eat better, do it whenever. It don't need to be winter. Do it whenever. It's a load of nonsense, bro. I'm sorry, but time frames don't dictate how hard you want to work. The key word there being want to. That's on you. Like, bro, you literally just said it. Do you get to October 1st and suddenly go, work really hard? No! You do that all year round. You go through ebbs and flows all year round. There'll be parts where you take your foot off the gas slightly because you're like, I just need a minute. Or actually, I'm going to go do some stuff. But then you'll come back and go, time to go again. Like, if it's the middle of July and I'm waking up with a hangover, I don't go, can't wait for October 1st, you know, mate. Can you imagine if I messaged you saying, bro, can't wait for October 1st so I can really grind this out? You'd come slap the taste out of my mouth. You would tell me that I'm the biggest idiot you've ever met. And you'd be like, what do you mean you're waiting for October before you do any work on anything? Shut up.
Yeah, I fully agree.
It's so stupidly specific that it's nonsense.
I fully agree with what you're saying, although I will say the caveat of like, but we're different in that sense. Like, we're driven by different things. Like, bro, bear in mind, there is a portion of the world that doesn't have an inner monologue. So there is a portion of people that physically cannot think through their own actions. They can't contemplate what they're about to do or what they've been through in that sense. So for some people, having a line in the sand, it could be exactly what they need to get things back on track. But for people like us that are just like, we're always conscious of our grind, it is easy to dismiss. So I don't fully want to dismiss the idea of a winter arc in that sense. Although I will say, if it's a case of October 1st to December 31st or whatever else, winter arc every year, and then the rest of the year you're a complete shambles, that is completely moronic. Because you're literally planning for most of your time to be a delinquent, to be a failure, to be da-da-da-da-da-da.
Also, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't winter stretch through into January, February?
Oh yeah, and if, again, you're in the UK, probably May and June.
But again, it's just one of those things. January is typically a colder month if you're in the Northern Hemisphere.
But
I'm sorry, man. Miss me with this. Like, don't be sitting there waiting for a time frame, man. Like,
nah, definitely don't do that.
if you feel like you ain't focused, if you feel like you're not doing enough or whatever, listen to your mind, listen to your body. Eventually, it will tell you when it's time to grow. Like, you don't need to be that specific, and you also don't need to be that extreme. Your friendships become more important in winter because you're going to get more isolated naturally anyways. Because ain't no one want to go out in that nonsense. Ain't no one want to go for a walk in the rain. If you do, you can't be my friend. That's not normal.
I like going for a drive in the rain.
Drive's different, you're sheltered. You got a nice little heated seats. Well, I don't have heated seats at the moment, but still. You got aircon that blows warm air. Like, of course it's pretty. Sounds nice. But ain't no way in hell I'm walking in that. You mad?
But that's the thing,
all your outdoor stuff gets minimized. If you play a lot of sports, like, you don't tend to happen as much. There's all sorts of things. So don't be extreme. Stay in touch with your people, unless they're toxic. Then bin them. But again, don't wait till October 1st to do that.
Yeah.
Do that whenever you want. Ideally, quicker is better with toxic people. Stanky.
I think the thing is
get out. Like, try and see some daylight where possible. See your mates. Work out like you normally would. And if you're not working out that much, work out. Like, just do all the normal things that will make you feel better. It doesn't need to be extreme.
That's the thing. I think there is, much like we were talking about in the episode of like finding your groove or whatever else, I think there is an element to find your groove in winter. Like, you'll find things that you look forward to as parts of winter that will motivate you. Like, again, like
spring.
Bro, like, for me, I get to look forward to Christmas with little one and taking her about and seeing all the lights and seeing her mesmerised with all of that kind of nonsense and all of that. Like, there are so many different pros and cons, and everyone's will be different. Do you know what I mean? Like, some people will get to see parts of family that they don't see often, or they'll go travelling or whatever. There'll be so many things that you can focus on. Don't focus on all of the negative nonsense, because the negative will always be there in life. So choose what you focus on, even through winter. And if you are choosing to grind for a good reason, not because the date, not because other people are doing it, because you want to do it, because it means something to you. Do it for your own reasons, and it will be far easier to stay consistent with it. If you're doing it because a calendar told you to, or an app told you to, what happens when the app doesn't tell you anymore? What happens when your phone's dead? Right? Don't let your motivation rely on something external. Motivate your damn self, because that's all you're ever going to have when everything is stripped away from you. But I think that's going to be it for the winter episode, unless you've got any more.
See you in spring.
Hopefully before then, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me of that thing about hibernating. How animals don't properly hibernate. They just like slow themselves down, which I didn't learn until I was well and truly into my adulthood.
Yeah.
I learned it the other week.
Last week.
But the seed for this episode is going to be, look, there is joy to be found all throughout life. If it is some little pink mushrooms that you randomly stumble across in Tesco's, or if it's something much deeper that kind of reminds you how big the world is, how beautiful life can be, and simply how much possibility there is out there in the world. There is so much to look forward to, so don't be a stupor, even if the weather's a bit gloomy. Try to be a ray of positivity in the world, and enjoy yourself. I'll let Dave end this one with one more munch of a mushroom.
Sit out.
All the best, and we'll catch you on the next one.